Yana put her 1-year-old daughter to bed and went to bed next to her husband. It was a difficult day, and the couple decided to go to bed early. "Honey, didn't you think Chara was acting weird last night?" Yana asked with a slight worry in her voice. "Don't make it up. Our old lady is fine," Kirill replied, settling comfortably on his side and yawning loudly. Despite his wife's wariness, the man was sure that everything was fine with their shepherd dog. 7 years ago, Chara showed up at their house and became a true family friend. All this time, she has shown herself to be an exceptionally intelligent, loyal, and prudent dog, worthy of admiration. "Our Chara is so smart." Yana was surprised more than once after another sensible trick of the pet. "You bet." Kirill, who once brought a puppy from a kennel, confirmed with pride. Eastern European Shepherds are indeed considered to be one of the most intellectually developed dogs. Scientists equate their intelligence to that of a 3-year-old child. And although Kirill was not an expert in the field of canine psychology, he considered himself an expert, like most devoted owners. After the birth of her daughter Vera, Chara herself changed her usual place next to the marital bed and began sleeping at the head of the nursery. The girl recently turned 1-year-old. She already has front teeth and a real affection for her 4-legged babysitter. They were inseparable, and no one could imagine that this friendship would harm anyone. However, one night Yana heard a strange growl from the nursery in her dream. She did not immediately wake up and did not fully realize what was happening, but the next morning she was left with an unpleasant aftertaste. Seeing Vera and Chara in a good mood, the woman thought it was just a disturbing dream. But the next night, Chara growled again. This time, Yana got up and went to the nursery. What she saw struck her to the core. The dog was standing on its hind legs in front of the crib. Vera woke up and, holding onto the railing, looked at Chara with fright, holding out her hands to her. Yana exclaimed and repeated the command several times before the shepherd stopped growling. But her gaze remained alert and tense. She looked at the girl. The young mother grabbed her daughter and carried her into the bedroom. She left the dog in the nursery as punishment for her strange behavior. In the morning, Kirill saw that Vera was sleeping with them, and immediately asked what had happened. Yana told about the night scene. Her husband listened attentively to her, went into the nursery, examined the charm and the room, but found nothing suspicious. Nevertheless, he promised himself to figure out what caused such a reaction in the dog. The next night, he persuaded his wife to let Chara stay with her daughter. The pet behaved calmly all day, as usual. But as soon as night fell, an alarming growl came from the baby monitor. Vera woke up and started crying, and Chara was growling harder and harder. Yana and Kirill jumped out of bed and ran into the room. The shepherd dog was driven away from the bed, but even after the child was taken to the bedroom, Chara continued to grumble. "You hear, she won't let up," Yana said. "What's going on? She wasn't like this before." "Yes, it's strange. Of course, Chara is already old, but not that old. Maybe we should put her in an orphanage," Yana suggested cautiously. Kirill abruptly got up and began to pace the room nervously. "Don't be silly. What's next? Put him down? For me, Chara is not just a dog. She's a member of our family. I am sure that if Vera or I were in danger, she would have given her life for us." Tears welled up in Kirill's eyes. "You're exaggerating everything," Yana objected. "Once she was smart and kind, but now—" Before she could finish, Kirill, not wanting to quarrel, went out into the kitchen. Chara heard the owner whine softly, calling him, but he did not respond and closed himself. The dog continued to growl for the rest of the night. But not so long ago she was the favorite of the court. Everyone knew that this shepherd was kind, smart, and capable of saving lives. One day, Chara saved a toddler who could have been hit by a car when the driver was backing up. At the last moment, the dog pulled him away by the collar with his teeth, preventing trouble from happening. At first, the witnesses were shocked. It seemed that the dog had attacked the child. But the man on the third floor, who saw everything from the balcony, shouted to the driver, "You almost ran over a child." If it wasn't for that dog, it was then that Kirill first met the same neighbor, Nikolai Semenovich, a humble biologist and an enthusiastic collector of exotic insects. He showed Kirill his collection. Rare spiders, beetles, venomous and harmless creatures lived in glass containers. This startled the young man. In the courtyard, Kirill and Yana were known as the masters of enchantment. "I'll never betray you, Chirochka," Kirill often thought. "When you get old, I'll take you to your parents in the village. I'll find a way to arrange it." Kirill decided to discuss the problem with his friend Misha, who once offered to take the charm. "Listen," she started growling at Vera at night. Right at the baby. Although she used to be caring. "You say aggression only manifests itself at night?" Mikhail asked. "It's not about the dog. We need to watch her with a camera. I'm sure she's reacting to something that you can't see." At the same time, Yana shared her worries with her friend Nadia. "Chara, you're crazy." He growls at his daughter, and Kirill protects her like a brother. "Evict him from the bedroom, let him sleep with her. He'll come to his senses quickly," she advised. But Yana was not sure that such a technique would work on her husband. In the evening, the couple discussed what to do next. "Darling, I won't let Chara be alone with Vera," Yana said firmly. "I thought you were sleeping alone tonight. I'm with Vera and Chara in the nursery. We need to figure out what's wrong. We are missing something." Yana was stunned. She wanted to punish him, but she got isolation in return. Disappointment was reflected in her eyes. Night fell, and the house was plunged into darkness. An hour passed. Chara, who was lying by Vera's bed, suddenly raised her head, sensing something else. She stood up and growled. Kirill immediately turned on the flashlight, trying not to wake his daughter. He shone the light into the corner, where the dog was looking. "That's Dot," he gasped. A dark spot was moving in the corner of the room. When Kirill turned on the overhead light, he moved the crib away from danger. Yana came running to the noise. There was a large black spider sitting on the wall in the corner, blending into the background. Chara continued to growl, watching him intently. "Kill him!" My wife screamed. "Wait!" Kirill carefully held up the fly swatter, and the creature climbed on top of it. He shook the spider into the jar and closed the lid. "That's it, Vera's safe now," he whispered, turning off the light. Vera did not wake up. Chara was happily wagging her tail and proudly rubbing against her master's leg. The next morning Kirill took the jar to N. "This is my karakurt." "What is it?" he exclaimed. "He disappeared a few days ago. I already thought he was dead, but it's deadly poisonous." Kirill frowned. But he only told his wife that he had returned the rare spider to the biologist. "Kirill, you're so kind and smart," Yana said lovingly. Chara came up to them. Yana stroked the dog. "I'm sorry, Pod." At that moment, Vera's voice came from the room, calling her beloved Chara. "What do you think about this story? Write in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any amazing new stories. See you.